This is particularly one of my favorites when it comes to your competition prep athlete. They're deep in their prep. Calories are low, body fat is low, and it's something that I utilize a lot when we want to make the hard training the bare minimum possible. Okay, so here's our program, same as our regular deload. We have an upper lower with some push and pull dominant, quad and hamstring dominant. You can see here the volume is the same as far as sets per week. Let's go over this staggered deload approach. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to kind of look at how the program runs over time, not just in a block like we did with the regular deload, where we were looking at a 3-to-1 ratio, 3 weeks of volume and then 1 week of deload. Now we got to look at the program as it runs over time here. Okay, so with these staggered deloads, this is basically what we are doing. 1 week, we are getting full volume training. So in this particular week, we have and do all of our sets as programmed here in the set target. Okay, lower body deload, just what it means. We're going to go ahead and cut the volume down to 2 sets, okay, on the lower body only. Then in week 3, full volume, just like we have planned in our program sets. Week 4, we deload the upper body only, doing 2 sets of the regular program sets that we do. In week 5, full volume, just like we have it programmed. And then in week 6, we basically start over again and deload the lower body. Now, even though we are keeping the same 3-to-1 ratio, right? Let's look at the upper body only, here and here, right? We are getting 3 weeks of full volume training, just like we always do. And then, of course, in the 4th week, we get the deload. And then we rinse and repeat. We get 3 weeks of full volume training, and then we get the deload. Okay? But we're staggering that with our lower body. If we look at just the lower body workouts, now they're the same ratio, but they're staggered. We have 3 weeks of full volume training on the lower body, and then we have a deload. And we rinse and repeat. Okay? But this is what the athlete feels, and why this is very advantageous when you're low on calories and low on body fat, low on energy, and you're starving. On the athletes, from the athlete's perspective, I should say, we're getting a hard week of training. We're doing everything. Then we get a kind of somewhat easy week of training. We're deloading the lower body. Then we have a hard week of training. And then we have a somewhat easier week of training. And it just goes like that almost indefinitely. Hard week of training, easy week of training. Hard week of training, easy week of training. You get the idea. Imagine when you are at single digit, uber low, like barely essential levels of body fat, and you get basically an easy week of training every other week, while all the volume and totality of the entire macro cycle essentially stays the same. It's a godsend when you are in that type of body fat.